Thank you very much for coming in today. It was good to talk to you on the phone, but it's so much better to hear the story from you in person. Melissa, can you tell me what happened?
Sure. Do you want, should I start at the beginning of everything, or do you want me to just tell you what happened, that day?
I think you should tell me a little bit about your relationship first.
Okay. So as I told you on the phone, Dina's parents passed away when she was about 8 years old, and that was when she moved in with my family. So I hadn't really spent much time with Dina before then. I'd seen her like at a couple things. And when her parents passed away, my parents immediately, she's my first cousin, they definitely knew that they wanted to take control of her and be in charge. They never formally adopted her, but we definitely we started calling each other sisters after a while. We did everything together pretty much, had to, fought like sisters, but also we definitely had, growing up together, we spent a lot of time together, and it was really good to have that relationship because as a single child up until I was 8 years old, it was really nice to have somebody else who was experiencing life with me and was able to help me, give me advice when I needed it. I was really glad that I got the chance to get really close to Dina while we were growing up. And so we lived together until we were both 17. And when we were both 17, we left for college. I went to Penn while Dina went to NYU. And so while we were at Penn and NYU, we were both there we did our freshman year. We each stayed at our respective colleges for the summer after freshman year. And it was actually in Thanksgiving of our sophomore year when the accident occurred. So what had happened was we had planned to meet up for lunch. I was staying at my apartment at Penn. Mom and Dad and Dina had come to visit, so the agreement was my dad and I separately were going to meet up with Dina and my mom at the restaurant. So I was going to leave, and pretty much as soon as I was getting ready to leave to go and meet them for lunch, I got a text message from my mom saying that there had been an accident and that I needed to meet them at the hospital as soon as I could. So I got to the hospital probably about 45 minutes after Mom and Dad and Dina had arrived at the hospital. When I got there, Dina was still in the waiting room. She looked like she was definitely in a lot of pain. She kept complaining about her stomach hurting. And so I was there for maybe 10 minutes, and at that point, you could see that Dina suddenly started looking a lot worse. Just like in an instant, she started to go blue and she passed out. So at that point, the nurses finally paid attention to her and they grabbed her and they brought us in the back. And I had her head on my lap and my parents had her hands in their hands, and they started doing life-saving procedures, and they did that for about half an hour, but nothing that they did worked. And so she passed away about half an hour after she lost consciousness. Her head was in my lap, holding my parents' hands. So I just think that the hospital really didn't do what they should have. I think that it was really unfair that they didn't pay attention to her until she had passed out in front of them, and just having to see that and experience it was just a horrible experience. So I just think that we should see if that the hospital should be held responsible for this, so that no other family members, no other sisters have to experience what I went through last Thanksgiving.
Okay. I'm really sorry for your loss, but I have a few more questions that I'm going to need to ask you. When you first arrived at the hospital, how did she look? How was she acting?
She definitely didn't look very good. She was still conscious when I get there. She was answering my questions. My mom was able to tell that she was coherent. But she was just kept complaining about the pain in her stomach and how badly it hurt, and that she really felt like she needed to see a doctor. So it was not good. You could tell that she definitely needed medical attention right away.
So when you first saw her, you were worried immediately?
Oh, I was terrified as soon as I got the text message, because, I mean, a text message saying your sister's in the hospital is definitely terrifying. I saw her, and I was kind of hoping it would maybe just be a broken arm or something. Like, Dina's pretty tough. She's not gonna just like ask me to meet her at the hospital if it's not nothing. So it was worse than I anticipated. She did not look good. She looked like she had been in a serious accident, and it was not a pleasant sight.
Okay, do you know what happened in the car accident?
I'm not sure exactly. I asked my mom about it once I got there. I think that they had been driving, and my mom was the driver, Dina was the passenger, and I think a car hit them on the side. So like I said, my mom was fine, but it was pretty much Dina head on in the collision, and I think that's why she was in so much of a worse state than my mom was.
Okay. Do you know if they immediately went to the hospital, or were they at the scene for a little while?
Oh, no, I think that they could tell the severity of the injury, because my mom said that they immediately got into the ER. My mom rode with Dina, and it was, I believe, in the ambulance when she texted me to tell me what was going on, to make sure that I could meet them at the hospital.
Okay. So I just want to ask a few more questions about growing up. So how long did you guys end up living together?
So I guess we lived together from when we were both 8 to 17, so probably about 9 years.
Okay. And you're sophomores in college now, so you've been apart for around how long?
So we probably have been apart for about a year and a half, but I would definitely say it was more of just physically apart from each other. I mean, we would text all the time, we always called each other. We had like our Skype dates, of course, that we would like hang out and ask how things were going. Like the people who lived in her dormitory, they would like know when she was Skyping or when she was texting. They'd be like, "Oh, how's Melissa?" Like it was people on my part would like, and for me would do the same thing. So I would say that even though we didn't like see each other much, we definitely still stayed really in very close contact, and we were both really excited to see each other over Thanksgiving and get to like talk in person and get to like catch up on everything.
Okay. So you said that you don't think your parents ended up adopting her, is that correct?
No, they did not. They just pretty much took her under the wing. I don't think any of us felt like we needed to officially adopt her because she was a part of the family. There was just absolutely no question about it. She was my sister. She was their daughter. We just never felt the need to go through the formality of that because it was just evident from anybody who talked to us how strong our family was as a 4-person unit.
I'm really sorry to hear about all of this, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about what it is that we'll be able to help you with.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.